Why does the black man serve the white man? Why does everything the black man do benefit the white man? Why does the black man say freedom is doing what I want to do? And why is it that everything he wants to do enriches the European?
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Peace, everybody. This is your brother, Mr. Holipsism. You know, I work late night, so I can catch these Marvel Disney Plus shows. Like when they come out on the East Coast, it's usually like 3 in the morning. So that's usually right around the time when I'm up. So I'm been able to catch like WandaVision and The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I'll be able to catch the other ones coming up. But I just got through watching the finale of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I love the show. And I'm gonna have a take that most people probably are gonna be a little bit confused by. Like if you look at the title, because you know who I am. I'm Mr. Black Nationalist. I'm Mr. African Centered Progressive. So why would I make a video titled "Sam Wilson was right"? And if you don't aren't familiar with the MCU or Marvel Comics, Sam Wilson was the Falcon, and he was the partner of or the sidekick, depending on how you look at it, of Captain America, Steve Rogers. And when Captain America went away, they passed the mantle of Captain America on to Sam Wilson. And one of the things that I liked about how this show handled that is they didn't ignore the pink elephant in the room, is that you're going to hand over the mantle of Captain America to a black man and think that that's just going to be cool. you know so or there's not going to be issues and things surrounding that. And I like the way that the show handled that. They didn't shirk away from it. And as a black nationalist, African centered, progressive, obviously, where my take is, and keep in mind, I'm able to watch a show and see the show for what it is and not try to take the show and apply it to my real world values. It's a television fucking show. It's fiction. You know what I'm saying? So I can make a separation, you know. So just like how, well, I won't get into that. I'll just say this. Um, when I look at how the show progressed and how the finale ended up, and also like, I want to introduce the character, the people that don't know, of Isaiah Bradley. Now they kind of changed the timeline of Isaiah Bradley to make it seem as if he was the first Captain America. In the comic books, it wasn't quite like that timeline, but I like the way that they did this, the way that they twisted that to fit this storyline. Is that he was part of the first batch of people tested out, where they were testing out the super soldier serum. And the super soldier serum is what made Steve Rogers into Captain America. It gave him his, enhanced abilities, so to speak. Um, and the reason why they picked Steve Rogers had nothing to do with him being a good soldier or a killer or even a great fighter or any of that. It had to do with his character. And somebody said something, I don't know whether it was on Twitter or Facebook, but somebody said something that was really profound. They said that, and it's so funny. Well, let me just say what they said, and then I'll tell you what my take is on it. They said, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't know the exact, but they said that Steve Rogers is what, or how, Steve Rogers Captain America is what America wishes that it could be, and John Walker's Captain America is America for what it really is. And I thought that was like a really profound statement to make, and it's also so true. It's Steve Rogers represents the ideals that America tries to sell on other people about what it really is. But if you look at America's history with Steve Rogers was really an enemy of the state. He was really like, and that's why, like, to get back to the point I was going to make, of all the characters in the MCU that I probably like, when you look at the comic book version, and I'm talking old school comic book Captain America, I hated that character, and y'all can understand why. Because anything having to do with Americana, I naturally hate. That's the reason why I hate any team that associates themselves with Americana. That's just the way it is. If you associate yourself as this pro-America bullshit, I'm going to be instantly against you. So I always hated Captain America as a character. But within the MCU, the way that Marvel handled Captain America, he became probably my favorite character, which is shocking to me because he wasn't a tool of the government. You know what I'm saying? He had no problem going against the government if they went against his ideals or the ideals that he felt the country should be about, which automatically made him an enemy of the government. So that take right there, I thought was really brilliant. I thought that it was bold because the easy thing to do would just make him into a schoolboy, a Boy Scout, and have him be a tool for the American government, a propaganda tool. That would have been the most easiest thing to pull off, but they did it the right way, and that's what made that character so effective. But the reason for me making this video has to do with the scene between Sam Wilson and Isaiah Bradley. And if you haven't seen the show or you intend to see the show, don't watch the rest of this. You probably shouldn't even watch this video, period, because I probably done gave away some spoilers. But Isaiah Bradley said something to Sam at the end of that interaction that they had. And I don't want to mess this up, so I'm going to go exactly to what he said. Hold on. He said to Sam, they will never let a black man be Captain America. And even if they did, no self-respecting black man would want to be. This is what he said to Sam Wilson, which I thought, first of all, that they even put that in the show was impressive to me. Even if it's that character's point of view, the fact that they let that point of view be expressed, they should be applauded for. Because most studios, especially big studios, take the safe route. You know, they don't want to be offensive. They don't want to, offend anybody or whatever. Like, so the fact that they allowed that to even be said is impressive to me. Now, after he said that to Sam, Sam obviously was struggling with the whole thing. And then he got back home with his sister. And his sister said, are you going to let Isaiah Bradley get into your head, or are you going to, be your own man and make your own decisions? And Sam Wilson said, and this I'm going to paraphrase because I don't have it right in front of me, but he said basically, if I was in Isaiah's shoes, I would probably feel the same way. But what's the use of all of that pain and all of that suffering and all of that struggling if I just don't fight, if I just lay down and don't do something? And then eventually in the next episode, he officially takes the mantle and goes into action. So I wanted to concentrate on that particular struggle, or that particular dynamic, I should say, between Sam and Isaiah. And the reason why I titled this video, Sam Wilson Was Right. If you go through my archives, you'll see another video that I did that's kind of similar to this one about Common, the rapper Common. And he had made a statement saying that black folks need to forgive white folks, and black folks lost their mind. And his argument was basically that you can't be in a relationship if you constantly reminding the other person of every wrong thing that they did. In order for y'all to move forward, you have to forgive them so that you can live in peace and try to move on from the past. Now, a lot of black people were upset with that, but it's 100% accurate. It's true. Now you're saying to yourself, well, damn, Holip, how could you agree with that if you're a black nationalist? You know why? Because that's not a dynamic that I even have to fucking deal with. That's the dynamic that the Black Power American, the militant integrationist, and the Captain America Negro has to deal with. That's the dichotomy that's running with those two conflicting views of thought about this country. See, I've already made up my mind. There's no dichotomy going on. There's no struggle going on with me in America. I know exactly how I feel about America. I know exactly how I feel about our people. Now the question, instead of people getting on Sam, like I hear people, oh, well, he's a sellout because he's going to be Captain America. How come you don't get on Isaiah Bradley? Did Isaiah Bradley become a black nationalist after they did him dirty? And for those that don't know what exactly happened to Isaiah Bradley, I'll give you the Cliff Notes. Cliff Notes. He was experimented on by the U.S. government for 30 years in jail. U.S. government and Hydra experiment on him because he was the last of the people that they had tested, the black men that they tested, that actually survived the serum. So the whole thing behind the story is once they perfected the serum, they were able to create Steve Rogers. You see what I'm saying? Even though, like I said, the timeline wise, it didn't actually go down that way, but that's the story that they were telling with this. So why didn't Isaiah Bradley, if he was really, really against America, why didn't he become a black nationalist? Why didn't he promote the idea of black people getting the fuck out of this country and building something of their own? Because obviously he has firsthand experience on the evil of this country and what they did to him, the injustice that happened. And then of course, you know, this is entertainment. This is, you know, the movies and TV. So at the end, they tried to, you know, tie things up in a way that, I totally not shocking to me, to try to give him some acknowledgement for what he went through at the end in the final episode. And I didn't have a problem with that. I mean, from a storytelling perspective, it was really good and it was cool. But from a realistic perspective, you know, looking at this outside of the fiction, why didn't he just reject anything having to do with America and go and develop his own? Why? You know why? Because Isaiah Bradley has the same problem that these Captain America Negroes, these militant integrationists, and these Black Power Americans have. As my brother Minister Dawood said, they want to put the white man on the couch. They mad because he fucked up, but they don't want to throw him out of the house. They just want to put him on the couch so he can learn to act right. In other words, they still want to maintain a relationship with their abuser. And I felt the need to make this video because it's so easy to call Sam Wilson a sellout. But Sam Wilson is actually keeping it real. Because what he's saying is, if we're going to be in America, we need to get rid of this pro-black shit. We need to get rid of this, constantly crying about racism and discrimination and all the wrongs that was done. Because think about it. You can't do more wrong than they did Isaiah Bradley. But at the end of the day, his philosophy was, well, this is America. I mean, if we're going to live here, you're going to have to forgive these people and move on. And Sam Wilson is 100% correct. Now, here's the question. How does that feel to your spirit as a black man? And how does that feel to your spirit as a black woman? When I make that statement that you need to forgive white people, forgive America, forgive slavery, forgive racism, forgive discrimination, Forgive prejudice, even though it's happening to you now. Forgive them so that y'all can move forward and bring this country together. How does it make you feel as a black man and a black woman when I say that? Why is it so hard for a lot of y'all to let that sink in and embrace that and accept it? Give up this pro-black bullshit and just be an American. I think we both know the answer to that question. You know why it's so hard for you to do it? Because deep down in your black African spirit, you know that Mr. Holipsism is right and that you are 100% wrong. You're a hypocrite. You're delusional. You're disingenuous. You don't even believe the shit that's coming out of your mouth. And I'm talking about Captain America Negroes, militant integrationists, and Black Power Americans. You really, really, really just want to be accepted as an American. You want to be equal to white people in this country. So my thing is, forget this black nationalism shit. Forget this African-centered progressive shit. Forget all of this pro-black rhetoric. You should be celebrating the 4th of July. You should have your hand on your heart and singing the national anthem and repeating the Pledge of Allegiance, because this is your country. You have no intentions of going anywhere else and establishing yourself or accepting the stuff that you've actually created. African Americans created Liberia. You actually have an alternative. You have some place you can go to accept and try to build up and make it your own. But no, you want to stay in America and bitch and moan and complain and put the white man on the couch. But you don't want to throw him out of his house, and you don't want to build a house of your own. So Holip is right and you are fucking wrong. Live with that shit, niggas. And on that note, I'll holler at you good people later. Peace.
You can't compare to the status right here. Legendary worldwide, we can battle right here. Listen, Junior, I'ma tear back your wig. This ain't TV, but I'll show you what a fear factor is. Stop grilling me, and all that fronting is killing me. You leave me no choice but to hurt your feelings, G.
About to slap rappers around and bruise the game. What?